Question 2, if the roots of 3x squared plus kx plus 12 equals 0 are equal, find k. Alright, so remember now, first thing we need to identify is what a, b and c is equal to. So in this case, a is equal to 3, okay, the value in front of the x squared. B is equal to the value in front of the x, which is k. Okay, so in this case, they haven't given us a number, they just said it's k. And c is that constant at the end. Okay, but what we can do now is we can make a statement, because it says here if the roots of this quadratic are equal. So in other words, we can say, look, given the roots are equal, think about what we can say. Think about what we can say about the discriminant. If the roots are equal, okay, as we had in the last case on question 1, okay, up here, we'll think about what's true. Well, of course, when the roots are equal, b squared minus 4ac will equal 0, won't it? And we can say that, given that the roots are equal, b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. And we've got value for a, we've got value, okay, it's k for b, we've got value for c. So let's just substitute that in. So b will be k, so k squared minus 4, a is 3, and c is 12. So we've got k squared. If I work that out, okay, 4 times 3 is 12, times 12 is 144. And then it's a case of solving this. Well, if I take that minus 144 over the other side, it becomes positive 144. And of course, to get k, if you think about it, I've just got to square root, yeah? Because when you take the square over, you square root. But don't forget, when you square root, you've got to put plus or minus. Okay, so plus or minus root 144, and root 144 is just 12, isn't it? So we get plus or minus 12. So in other words, k is equal to 12, or k is equal to negative 12, okay? So there's two options there for k. Okay, so for number 3, it says for what values of p does the equation px squared plus 4x plus p minus 3 equals 0 have equal roots? So again, in this case, you can identify a. A is equal to p, isn't it? The value in front of the x squared is just p. B then is the value in front of the x, which is 4. And then c is actually this big value here at the end, this constant. Okay, will be this bracket here, so p minus 3. So again, we can make that statement, given the roots are equal, okay, we can say b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Okay, so then we got b to be 4, so 4 squared. Take away 4 times a times c, so a is p, and c is p minus 3. So put that in the bracket there, equals to 0. So what we can do then is tidy this up. If we, 4 squared obviously is 16. If we multiply out now this bracket, expand this, you've got minus 4p times p is minus 4p squared. Minus 4p then times minus 3 is plus, yeah, 12p. So don't forget, minus times a minus is a plus, equals to 0. Okay. So we've got here a quadratic, you'll notice, yeah, in terms of p, and we can factorize it, possibly, yeah. So let's rewrite this first. So we've got the minus 4p squared in front, plus 12p plus 16. So we just change things around there. And you've got to appreciate, of course, if we're going to factorize, we can't have a minus in front. So what I'm going to do is divide through by minus 1. So we just change all the signs. If we divide by minus 1, we've got minus 4 divided by minus 1, which will just be 4. Plus 12p divided by minus 1 will be minus 12p. And plus 16 divided by minus 1 will be minus 16. Equals 0. So you've got a quadratic. Before we factorize though, you'll notice 4 is a common factor. Okay, so we can also divide through by 4. So if I divide that by 4, well, 4 divided by 4 is 1, so that'll just be p squared. Divide this by 4, well, 12 divided by 4 is 3. Divide this by 4, I get 4. So I've got a lovely quadratic, okay, which we can actually factorize this nice and straightforward. So I'll do it over here. So we want p at the start of both brackets. We want two numbers that multiply to give 4 or minus 4 and add up to give minus 3. So the options there are 4 and 1. Make that a negative and add a plus. Okay, so then you get two brackets times together equals 0. So the first bracket will equal 0, or the second bracket will equal 0. So that means then p has got to equal to a negative 1 when you take that 1 over, or p will equal to 4 when you take that minus 4 over. So you have two possible solutions here, the values of p, so that this equation here has equal roots.